Hi, my name is Jonathan Harrison. Welcome to episode 2 of the robotic arm project. So here's a quick sketch of what I worked on last episode, if you want to go see that. I'll probably leave a link to the last episode in the description. So this week we're going to be working on the base. The base is going to be mounted to the shoulder right here and going to give us another axis of rotation that is going to rotate the entire robot. I'm just going to try to sketch it out so it'll be a little bit easier to understand what my thinking process is. So this right here is the rotating plate. This is what the shoulder is going to be attached to. This rotating plate is going to be set into the base, and this is the piece that's actually going to be rotating with the arm, and the rest of the base will actually be stationary. One of the criteria I have for the rotation on this base is for it to be able to rotate in either direction as long as it wants. This means I will only be able to put electronics, such as the Arduino, the servos, all the driver boards, everything like that is going to have to go on the rotating plate with the rest of the robot arm. Okay, so this right here is the stationary plate. This is what's going to be actually sitting on the table, and that's going to be solidly set in place. The stationary plate will probably have a pivot point coming up through the center of it like that connects to the rotating plate to help it spin. Now, like I said earlier, I wanted to put all electronics and components on the rotating plate, but I obviously have to have some type of power cable that connects from the robot to a wall outlet, so I will have to have at least one cable external from the rotating plate. Now, we can't fully solve this problem, but we can reduce its effects. So instead of having an external cable for the power come in and attach to the robot from the top like this, we can actually make our pivot point hollow and have the cable come up through the pivot point up into the rest of the robot. This way, it won't actually be twisted around the base over and over again, but it will be slightly twisted over and over again in the bottom, but it won't mess anything else up. It'll just twist the cable. Now, this won't cause the robot to malfunction. It will cause the cable to maybe break at some point, but I'm going to be programming this robot in a way where I'm not just turning over and over again in one direction. I'm going to be turning back and forth, so it shouldn't be an issue. Now, the reason I'm at a whiteboard and I'm drawing all this out is because I'm about to explain the two methods that I've come up with to try to drive this rotation plate with a servo to be able to rotate to any degree we specify. Now, obviously, there are other methods of getting this rotation plate to work, but these are the two main ones that I came up with. If anybody else has any other methods, feel free to leave them in the comment section and I will read through all of them. So this is the top view of this base. So this is the stationary plate and this is the rotating plate. Now, the first method I came up with was to add a servo, or a drive servo, somewhere on the edge of the rotation plate, like that, in this location. Then, on the end of that drive servo, add a gear, a small gear out at the end that passes the rotation plate. Then, in the stationary plate, we have an inset like this that fits the rotation plate. This is the side view of how that motor would be attached. Motor or servo. Technically, it's an unlocked servo, so it becomes more like a motor. So, this motor or servo would be connected to the rotation plate just like this and overhanging on the edge of the stationary plate. This servo would have a gear coming off of it like this, and it would be interlocking with the inset of the stationary plate. Now, the stationary plate would have an inverse gear. These are great gear drawings, by the way. Basically just a squiggly line. Anyways, it would have a gear right there, like that. And so it would be inset and touching with gears all the way around. So when it spun, it would rotate from the point and lock in with the gears all the way around the edge. That would be one way to do it. Now, the second way to do it would be to have the gear below the base. So the rotation plate actually pivots right here, and this gear is a part of the base. Like that. Now, for this design, you would have to have a notch cut out of the rotation plate like this, with the servo still slightly sticking out to the side. This is how the servo would fit into the side, inset into the base, and then the servo would have gears coming off of it like that on the outside. So that way, when it spins the gear, it interlocks with this big gear that's connected to the base, not the rotation plate, but the base, so it pivots around this point. I do think I like this design a little bit more because it looks cleaner, but let's look at the pros and cons of both of them before I make a decision. Now, it may not be a problem, but the main problem that I'm thinking about for both of these designs would be the build volume of my printer. The base has to be rather large because it's going to be this much bigger than the shoulder and also fit all the components. So it's going to have to be very wide, and I don't know if I can fit that all on my 3D printer. Technically, I could make the rotation plate and almost all of the stationery plate out of wood, because that way I wouldn't have to route my printer, but the gears themselves have to be 3D printed, because that's the only way I can make consistent and well interlocking gears. What's good about this design is I know that this distance, just about that far, will probably fit on my build plate and will be acceptable, and I can print it in one part. But the problem with this design is, the one with the teeth on the outside in the base, like an inverse gear, I don't think that this wide would fit on my printer. And even if it did, it'd be a rather weird shape. Like I said, this whole piece would obviously be way too big to fit on my printer bed, and I don't even know if I want to waste that much material trying to make a base. Plus, it wouldn't be heavy enough, it wouldn't be stable. The base is just something that's not going to be 3D printed. It's going to be made out of wood. So, but I said, the gears have to be 3D printed. So, what I would have to do is make a thin little almost washer. This piece right here, the part that I colored orange, would be the only part that could be 3D printed. All of this would have to be wood, and I would have to 3D print this orange ring part and place it into the wood. This is what that orange part would look like from the sides. It's a very thin, small, little sliver that has to go all the way around. Now, could I get this to work? Yes, but another thing, as I said, printing a washer like this on my 3D printer might be too big. So I would have to split it up into sections. Maybe do 3 sections. Like, print this piece, and then print this piece. All of those little orange pieces. That would make the gears not lock together as well. Like, the seams between the two wouldn't match up properly at some point, and it might cause the gears to lock up. Plus, another thing on top of it that bashes this design is this outer ring cut into the wood that the plastic piece would fit into would have to be perfectly circular, because the 3D print would be perfectly circular, but I don't have a router or any tools like that that could help me make a perfect circle in a piece of plywood. So I've decided I'm going to use the second design that I talked about, the one with the gear directly below the rotating plate. I hope at least some of this made sense. I'm fixing to whip up the models in CAD so you can see what they look like. Hopefully it'll make more sense.
Okay, so I've already gone ahead and modeled the rotation plate and stationary gear, but now that I'm looking at it, I can already tell this rotation plate is going to be super impractical to print. It's way too big and bulky, and it's barely going to fit on my printer. Now, obviously I have to print the rotation gear, because I'm not one of those insane dudes that can make super accurate gears out of wood. But this rotation plate is basic and would be super easy to make out of wood, especially since I know exactly what wood to use.
Okay, so we have a ton of these 3/4 inch plywood shelves left over from the construction of this house that are perfect size for any like small projects that I'm working on. So I like to cut these up and use them because we have nothing else to use them for, and they also have this nice little paint finish on that makes them smooth, but if I don't need it, I can just sand it right off. Okay, so I literally just made a little wooden circle with the servo mount sticking out on the side and slapped a hole through the middle. That's going to be where a washer goes through and how we're going to pivot. And I have some holes drilled from the bracket. I just took the shoulder bracket off of the base and slapped it on here, marked the holes so that way I knew where to drill these out, and then I also countersunk these on the other side so those washers are flush. Okay, so now that that rotation gear is printed out, you can see it's got a bunch of little teeth on the side. But anyways, I just used another piece of that shelf, cut a square hole through the middle of it, like that, and strung up the gear and a little washer, so when I need to add this plate here, it spins freely. Okay, along with using this square 15mm aluminum rod or whatever you want to call it, I also use 5-minute epoxy to secure this gear like strongly to this plywood right here.
It was at this point that I realized the shop was getting super messy, and it was getting pretty annoying. And since it was a super nice day outside, I decided to clean up the shop.
Okay, so now that I can breathe again, let's take another look at that pivot point. I know I originally said I wanted to try to make that pivot point hollow, but I have a different idea now that I think will be a little bit easier to execute. I still intend to string the power cable through the center, but I'm wondering if I can just fit it through these holes like this. Now, obviously, these aren't the power cable. These are way too thin and can't carry enough, but it still kind of gives you an idea of what I'm trying to do. That's why I made this gap in the rotation plate with the table saw, is just so that I can fit the power cable through here and then plug it into the Arduino up here somewhere. So now I have everything built and everything's already made. I want to put it all together and make sure everything works. Another thing that I forgot to mention is to make sure that this plate doesn't just lift straight up off the pivot point. I'm going to be using one of these screws with a washer and just stringing it straight through the middle of this crappy hole that I made, because I threaded the top of this aluminum rod to fit one of these, so I can just drill that through straight through the top.
I was expecting the servo shield I ordered to come in this week, but unfortunately, since it came from China, there were some complications while getting the package here, and it didn't arrive in time for this video. So I'm testing the servos individually, basically one by one on the Arduino, because I still don't have the shield to split it and be able to control them all at once. Even though I already tested all the shoulder and elbow joints, I'm still going to test them again. I have had too many servos give out on me on a competition to not want to constantly check. Alright, that is most of the base done, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Even though there are a couple little things that I see that could be changed, it's nothing major that demands immediate attention or something drastic like a redesign. I think the next episode is going to be making about all of the wrist and hand joints on the end of the arm. If anyone has any suggestions on how I should improve the base or go about building the wrist and claw system, I would love to hear them. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll stick around for the next one. See you then.